No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin Raw podcast, where dick riding without a license isn't a crime. I just call it amateur porn. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening. First and foremost, because he's my friend and he looks a little sad today, so we're gonna go with him first. He is Daddy Delgado. He is the Sultan of Spitter Swallow. He is the host of the Straight Talk podcast. He is my friend Vince. Vince, how are you this evening?
We're just getting a taste of them. I'm like, I'm tired of getting a taste of them. I want the whole load.
What's up, Matt?
You say that, but then I asked you about muffling you earlier, and you wanted none of that. So, like, either you want a taste or you don't.
To be determined. Determined.
We did not come alone because there is a race for Pornhub Poppy, and in that race for Pornhub Poppy is my other co-host. She is the host of the She Leads Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd story time with the person I'm about to introduce, the hardest working woman in podcasting today, Miss Katie Kinsey, baby.
Yo, yeah, I do too much.
You do too. You do too much. Do.
Oh well. Haha.
Also, hi ho, Allison, and hi Will.
Botch Bots and Chair Shots are here in the chat.
And Botch Bots and Chair Shots are celebrating 100 episodes. Katie was there, so you guys should definitely go check out their 100 episode celebration and watch Katie fight with a pair of yellow shoes. It is very entertaining, but more so near the end. Congratulations to them. Also, congratulations to World Elite Podcast, who recently just celebrated 3 years. And you will be able to hear Dylan from the World Elite Podcast coming out very soon on an episode of Inside the Mind of. So let's just tie all that in. But if you're here, if you're watching on YouTube, you guys can subscribe. We would appreciate it. It would be fantastic. If you're watching on Twitch, you could subscribe. You could follow. You could, give us that monthly subscription that you get from Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime member. So that money isn't kept by them. It is given to us. We would appreciate that as well. Because we are Creation World, and that's where you found us. And Creation World is a banner under which we exist. So anything Creation World, whether it's creationworld.com, it's Creation World, ITSCREATA World, Facebook.com/Creation World, all of these places, Pornhub/models/Creation World. If you're not worried about people finding out your browser history, you can find us at all these places. Watch us, follow us, subscribe to us, and enjoy our content. And also find our Teespring, where we have pro-choice pro wrestling t-shirts for sale, with all the proceeds from this podcast going to Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. All the proceeds from the same shirt that you can get in a different color from Katie over at the She Leads Showcase going to Planned Parenthood. I think I have plugged everything I should be plugging. Can you guys think of anything else? Patreon, yeah, we got that too. Go check that out. Return to Wrestling. Linktree/Creation World.
Yeah, I think you plugged everything, man.
Thank you. Plug
Not everything, Vince, but I can visit you after the show's over and we can plug that last thing.
I don't think you're off for that long of a drive this late at night.
Dude, you know who you're talking to, and I am going to be flirting with you this entire episode just to make sure you keep smiling. So be ready.
2022. Everyone's a little gay.
Yeah.
You guys haven't. Jalen on the beat at Heel Tactics _ is the person who did all of the music for all of our shows, for the 14 shows that Katie fucking does, because she doesn't have a life and she lives here on the internet in front of her camera for all of you.
Hey.
For the you do, and it's here on the internet in front of the camera for everyone. For the Straight Talk podcast, for Spit or Swallow, for Smackin' It Raw. He did the remix. He did Return to Wrestling. He's done a bunch of stuff for all of our friends, YK Wrestling. Oh, by the way, you can get Black Lives Matter t-shirts from YK Wrestling, and all those proceeds go to a good cause as well. So you guys should check them out. I haven't plugged them in a while. And I feel like with like the recent elections and everything, it felt apropos that, you should probably plug that Black Lives Matter and that women should have a choice. Neither here nor there. That's how we rock.
Apropos.
You're on the Smackin' podcast. Apropos.
All right, Mr. SAT, relax.
Will wants to flirt with us as well. So yes, if you need music for your podcast, go hit up Heel Tactics. He does a fantastic job and makes everything you need, including the stuff they've got for getting off. This episode is dick riding without a license, and you will find out why. But before we do that, news and rumors. Oh, hold on. One last shout out to Pretty Kyle, who for whatever reason decided that he was going to watch us drunk on Twitch on his wedding night.
What? I got questions.
Hold on, Kyle. I'm going to be honest with you. I never expected your wedding night to go any other way than you, me, the softest part of the ring, and an internet connection between us. So I'm glad you're here, bud.
What the?
Congrats, Pretty Kyle.
Congrats, Pretty Kyle. I'm very
happy. He literally got married today.
Listen, I'm gonna read you the last thing that I sent Pretty Kyle today. This was kind of like, since I didn't get invited to the wedding, which I understand, it's far away.
Got lost in the mail.
Yeah, whatever. I decided to give him a little speech that I couldn't deliver at the wedding. So it says, like Taz's balls, you two are a perfect little package. May your marriage last longer than Ric Flair's career and have more high spots than a Young Bucks match. I hope it's full of more love than Hulk Hogan has for himself and more joy than Kofi Mania brought the millions of fans. Now go spend time with your awesome wife and stop talking to my lame ass.
So is he like tuning in between rounds? Is that what's happening here?
I don't know what he's doing. You're gonna have to ask him.
Kyle, if you're in the chat still, I need details. I need information.
His hands might be busy right now. He might just want to hear my voice while he's, consummating his marriage. I did ask him to try not to think about me while consummating the marriage, but he said it was going to be impossible. So, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk wrestling. Also, hi, Tim.
Are you sure?
I am kind of sure. So. AEW is planning to finally go over to the UK and hope to broaden their fan base a little bit by giving the Brits and every other European country that may attend over there a little attention. So, yay, AEW. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully will.
They talked about a good number on Dynamite this week, so.
Also, congratulations to baby Pat McAfee. Proud of Pat. Busy man, almost busier than Katie. About as much of a life as Katie has, and still found a way to make a child. So I'm proud of you, Pat. Can't wait to have you back. And then, as they said on the She League Showcase, baby McAfee commentating the next generation of wrestlers that are all being born around now.
Listen, that baby's division's popping right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. You and Vince should get together and book the babies division.
Book the babies division?
Yes, on Straight Talk. You guys do all of these great things over on Straight Talk where you get together and you book women's tag divisions and things like that. I think booking the babies division could be a fun little show for you guys to do.
Yeah, you could always get Monroe in there. You can get Birdie. There's a lot of second generation babies out there.
Me and Savannah have a whole segment of a show a few weeks ago. Babies Are Wrestling. That was the whole gist of that. Babies Are Wrestling. Yes, that was the name of the title.
Nice. I gotta go back and watch that one then.
If you guys haven't heard, there's a Von Erich movie coming out starring Zac Efron, and apparently MJF recently got cast in a role for the upcoming Von Erich movie, which I think is already shooting because we've seen pictures of a shirtless Zac Efron with a weird fucking haircut, and we're all just gonna assume that that's what it is. Yes, Tim, that does sound like a fun draft, and Tim loves fucking drafts. Quick shout out to Tim before we talk. Do you guys really have anything about the Von Erich movie? You guys excited for it? Anything like that?
I faked my way through it on Get Show this week, so I can't do it that much more.
Fair enough. Tim started a fantasy wrestling thing and he invited me to it and I signed up. And let me tell you, doing this whole, like, it's got me more invested in the shows, especially like the people, like, I'm excited. Like, we'll talk about it with Shotzi tonight. I'm like, yes, fucking points. Like, so yeah, we did like a 5-day draft, 200 people throughout the 10-person group. It was a blast. And I'm racking up points and I'm super stoked about it. I even kind of like, I'm not going to go watch it, but I kind of care what happens on Dark and Elevation now. Cause like points. So, you know,
points.
You just look up the results like I used to.
Do you get the World Cup trophy at the end of this little fantasy draft tournament thingy?
So my understanding is that the winner gets a blowjob from Tim King, and if Tim King wins, he gets a blowjob from the other 9 guys. That's, I'm pretty sure, what we all signed up for. So, is that right, Tim? Is that what we get when we win?
I mean, that sounds probably right.
I think that's right. Last but not least, Nick Aldis left the end of, or wanted to leave, quit, put in his 2 weeks notice, whatever. He's only got like 55 days left on his contract. Said some shit about the NWA and how he's not happy with it. Billy Corgan suspended him, took him off a pay-per-view, which really sucks because now their main event is fucking Trevor Murdoch versus Tyrus. And who the fuck wants to watch a world heavyweight title match between Tyrus and Trevor Murdoch besides the South? So
that's rough right there.
That's true.
That's a tough watch.
I mean,
I got nothing, guys.
Can you really blame Nick Aldis for wanting to leave, though?
No, I can't.
Like, after all the shit Billy kind of did with Mickey and put Mickey through, and then Nick Aldis was just like, yeah, so I'm going to leave in January. And then they just said, no, you can leave now. It's fine. Which, you know what? Good riddance. Billy Corgan's a fucking clown, too, so who cares?
And they were doing some interesting things, but like, I don't know. Like, aren't they like a YouTube exclusive show? I feel. Well, you're in the chat, man. Tell me all about NWA, like, and why I should be watching.
Tim, I couldn't tell you if they main evented the last NWA pay-per-view or not because I don't watch the NWA. However, I'm gonna need people from Chicago to stop showing their ass and embarrassing our city. Billy, Kanye, CM Punk. Please stop making us look bad. And chill the fuck out and saying stupid things like, you know, whatever the fuck Kanye's been saying, which we're not really going to talk about, or that there aren't enough talented women out there available to hold a second pay-per-view, or that, you know, Tyrus versus Trevor Murdoch is a viable main event for your championship. Like, stop, please. You're embarrassing me and our city.
I mean, they're kind of just pissed at the fact that Empower took over that entire weekend.
And then Tony Khan tried to take credit for it. Like, Tony Khan tries to take credit for everything. He's on coke. He thinks everything's his idea. Like,
exactly.
Speaking of coke, man, and since we're on news and rumors, how about Rene Dupree just doing the line of coke in the middle of an interview? Shout out to TC for sending that clip.
I mean, I don't know. That's exactly what he was doing. That is definitely what it looked like he was doing. However, I personally do not want to be asked for an apology from his publicist for discussing that. So we are not going to discuss that because apparently people are out here asking for apologies if you talk about that thing. So
don't do a line of coke in the middle of an interview then.
He just doesn't understand.
Oh, I understand. I just
shush.
You guys have anything else for news and rumors before we get into the meat of the show?
I thought you might have mentioned this, but I saw on Twitter that Victoria started an OnlyFans.
Oh,
for $25 a month.
And listen, I find Victoria to be a very attractive woman aside from the man hands. I have personal issues with Victoria due to, you know, an interaction that we had. It could have been an off day. It is what it is. I've talked about it. It had, like, she was not the most gracious host at her restaurant when I was there. I've heard other people say fantastic things about her. I am not, like, you can go watch her blow some dude. I think something leaked a while ago for free on the same website that you can find us. If, you know, you don't care about invading someone's privacy, which you should never do, and leaking personal videos are terrible. I am,
Yes.
however, not going to spend $25 for that as well.
Like, that's a lot of money.
How much did Ginny Neidhart charge?
I think maybe 10
You
or
shouldn't-
15.
You should
I
know.
don't know
You're
off the top of my head.
subscribed.
I was. I'm no longer.
What happened?
I'm thinking about buying a new house, and kind of got to cut some things out, like I don't know, OnlyFans subscriptions, shit like that.
Just simple little things.
Yeah. So.
The bunny's in a movie.
Oh yeah, Lifetime movie. I heard that, and I meant to write that down in my notes, but I was driving when I was listening to it, and never got around to it.
Okay. Yeah, it's called The Bad Tenant. I don't know when it comes out, but I guess she just got done filming it. So
Why does that sound like a porno?
it does, but most Lifetime movie titles do.
That's true. That's true.
If you ever really truly look at them, they all do.
So I thought of this fun game that I'm going to play if Creation Conversation ever comes back with Mara, because she's not a wrestling fan, called Wrestler or Porn Star. Because she doesn't watch wrestling, I'm going to give her a bunch of names and have her guess based on the name if it's a wrestler or a porn star. I think it's going to be a fucking hit.
Honestly, that sounds like a great time.
I
say you do it.
I'd watch it.
Well, I'm going to do it. I just have to wait for Creation World to come back, or Creation Conversation to come back.
Creation World.
Yeah, the whole planet's got to come back. Oh, fuck. All right.
Jesus.
You don't have to get muffled, Vince, but you do have to spit or swallow.
Sorry. It's funny every fucking time.
Like I gotta compose myself. Cause okay. All right. So last week we kind of just ran the episode a little bit longer than it probably should have, and it was because we just went on tangents. So I'm contemplating whether or not to just start things off with a tangent, because I already know that it's gonna be a difference of opinions based off what you've commented in group chats that were mutually in. But I'm gonna start with Rod, and I'm gonna spit the Austin Theory Money in the Bank failed cashing attempt. He cashed in on the United States champion. I don't care, I don't care what justification you can try to give me here. This is the secondary title. This is not the world title. I don't care how OP Roman Reigns appears to be. I don't care that you're on the lowest totem pole. You have a full calendar year to use this Money in the Bank championship opportunity, and you wasted on the United States championship. That does not make any sense to me. And here's the thing: if you want to go ahead and actually cash in on the U.S. title, why not still keep the option of the WWE Championship open for the full year? And if you're gonna do the U.S. title, wait till the very last day, or the week right before. It's dumb. I just didn't like it. I thought it was fucking stupid. It was not the best decision.
So you know what's funny to me, Vince? I think that sometimes you forget that I listen to all of my friends' podcasts, including the Get Show podcast, which you were on, which you made the same statement and said that you knew that when you came on Smackin' and Raw, we were going to say this, and that. I don't disagree with anything you say. I just personally don't give a fuck about Austin Theory, and I don't care whether he has money in the bank at all again or not. I don't care how he cashed it in. I'm just glad that's done. I fully agree with all of your reasons about why the money in the bank is important and it should have been treated better and how it didn't make all of that makes sense. I just don't give two fucks about Austin Theory being money in the bank holder, and I'm just glad it's not on him anymore and we can move on and do something better. There are a million different things they could have done better, and I would have been cool with that too. They could have given it to Johnny and had him and Johnny, wrestle for it and take it off him. They could have had him cash it in on Roman, and whatever the end result is, he no longer holds the money in the bank, and that's all that matters to me at this point. It's over.
It's not a thing about Theory, because take Theory out of the equation, because for me, my big issue with the whole thing is the simple fact that you're wasting money in the bank once again. It feels like they haven't been able to have a successful Mr. Money in the Bank since Seth Rollins. Like, and all the women, they cash in on the same night, or like the like on the Raw following, or like within the week. Like the longest, like the Miss Money in the Bank that held it the longest was Carmella. Like if you think
maybe this is them revamping the Money in the Bank for when it's no longer its own pay-per-view and it's on WrestleMania.
I see, and I disagree with that, because I don't think you should go ahead and put it on WrestleMania, because it's an attraction in of itself. It's become like a big 4, big 5 pay-per-view when the bank has become. I don't think you gain anything from putting it on WrestleMania.
I do and I don't. It allows you to get more people booked onto WrestleMania. It's another match for the women that lets you get 6 women into a WrestleMania match and get showcased on the biggest show of them all. I could argue that, having that year clock where, again, you have to cash in by WrestleMania. You have 1 year, and if you win it at WrestleMania, it ends at WrestleMania. So the anticipation of someone holding it on to that, they're going to have to cash it in that night. Like they have to, if they've held on to it, is something that they could use and play into that went away once that made its own pay-per-view and all that. But I also do agree with everything you're saying about Money in the Bank being a big 5 pay-per-view, being something like the Royal Rumble that does constitute its own pay-per-view. So I agree with both.
It could have been handled better, because I thought the way they did it was dumb, because it's the US title. Like, at least have him cash in on the WWE title. Like, it makes him seem like a total buffoon. Like,
but he is.
Yes, but it's like, why, bro? It's the US title. You held the US title already. It was an open challenge. It's like,
but see, that's the thing. It's fuck Austin Theory. So like that part I don't care about. Like they can make him look as dumb as he wants. He could have cashed in for the 24/7 title after Nikki Cross threw it in the trash. Like I wouldn't give a fuck as long as he wasn't holding it, because I did not want to see him cash in and possibly win.
I like the concept of him maybe cashing in on Braun for the NXT title. That I would have been okay with.
That I would have been okay with too. I would have been fine.
It's just, it's like you can argue that, like, oh well, Raw, the US title is basically the top title on Raw, but it's like, no, man, like it's still the United States Championship. You've already held it. You got to try to go after the WWE title. Like, how is it that between Baron Corbin, Damian Sandow, John Cena, and Braun Strowman, you're the dumbest Money in the Bank holder there's been?
Like, I mean, I feel like that's very clear. He's just Damian Sandow was a genius. Braun Strowman has one-track mind. John Cena's motherfucking John Cena, and Baron Corbin only thinks about money. While we're on this, just so we can wrap it up, I have it as a swallow, because Theory cashed in means that Theory no longer has Money in the Bank. After Bobby Lashley cost him this as well. Like, he may have very well won this match, but Big Bob came out, wrecked Seth, came back with a bloody titty, and wrecked Austin Theory.
Bloody titty.
His titty was all bloody. You didn't see the bloody titty?
I don't know when the hell it happened. I was very confused when
whenever Bobby Lashley's on my screen, I just get lost in his eyes, so I wasn't looking at his titty.
There are a lot of things about Bobby Lashley I get lost in, the last of which are his eyes. So yes, Bobby Lashley cost Theory that as well. Absolutely could have been done better. Any thoughts, Katie, before we move on?
I mean, Seth does no wrong. Seth always gets a big swallow. Blonde-haired Seth is a menace, and it's my favorite thing ever. So
his roots are showing. I'm not a fan of that.
Well, obviously,
Katie, it's a swallow.
Since we kind of talked about Big Bob, this is an overall general statement. The possibility of the Hurt Business coming back. Cedric had a match on TV. Shelton had a match on TV. Big Bob is wrecking shit. I just think it is now the perfect time to bring back the Hurt Business. It makes sense. That's another strong faction with a strong leader of a faction. Because Cedric and Shelton are there. Fantastic athletes, but they're kind of just there. And then you could realistically have MVP come back and bring Omos if you want to, or you can just have MVP leave Omos, and then bada bing bada boom, we get the actual Hurt Business back. But I like this idea. I like this idea that it possibly could come back soon because all of them want it back. They have all gone on record saying they want the Hurt Business back. So let it happen.
Or if you leave MVP out and you make them just like a straight up badass shooter, fucking
that too.
We're wrestlers, we're gonna fuck you up sort of thing. Because I feel like that's where Shelton was kind of leaning in a lot of the backstage stuff he was saying and the like internet exclusive shit. So yeah, I'm down with that.
I don't know. I feel like MVP is kind of an integral part of the Hurt Business. Both him and Bobby Lashley, I feel like are key cogs of that machine. Like I feel like it'd be odd with not having either of them in it.
Kind of like smacking a Raw with you and me.
Yeah.
Are you the MVP to my Big Bob?
You just referred to yourself as Big Bob.
I did.
He's bold.
I don't concur.
Oh, you think you're Bobby Lashley in this scenario?
I didn't make the comparison. I wasn't trying to make analogies. You were.
Anyway.
If anything, you're the mouthpiece. Yeah.
No, I was going to make a joke, but never mind.
I'm the champion. I'm going to swallow New Day and Usos, everything. So, the match tonight, the setup promo for Monday. However, I am spitting the fact that Riddle decided to come out and ruin the setup promo on Monday to start a 6-man tag match that had nothing to do with him. But then I'm going to go back and swallow the fact that Solo pinned Matt Riddle in the middle of the ring because motherfucking Solo Sikoa. So, like, spitting Riddle coming out, getting involved in shit that had nothing to do with him so he could talk about bongs. Like, I hit my bong. Like, shut the fuck up and go away. Please just shut the fuck up.
That was terrible. I was watching I don't know if you're like disdain for Riddle is like rubbing off on me, but like I watched this whole segment. I'm like, bro, why the fuck are you out here, man? You don't belong. Go the fuck home.
My favorite thing is that as I sit here and just perpetuate my hate for Matt Riddle, I slowly start seeing it like filter through to all of my friends and podcasters and everything. More and more people are turning against Matt Riddle, and I love it.
Shit,
because fuck Matt Riddle.
Also,
he ruined that whole segment.
He's the reason why the New Day didn't win the championships on
Curse the Riddle.
Boom.
They teamed up with him, and that is why they did not win. And that is a fucking fact.
That's the fastest Curse of Riddle.
Jimmy almost fucked it up because Jimmy hit the bong.
Well, it's because Jimmy just really wanted to play the drums.
No. But you don't risk the curse. Why would you?
That wasn't the curse. That was him literally just trying to.
Was Jimmy hitting Riddle's bong? Like activating the curse or attempting the curse. No. I believe it was because I saw it's like Jimmy, you're fucking it up. Like Jimmy, you're fucking up, man. You don't interact with Riddle.
See,
right there,
turning everybody,
right there, turning everyone around.
I agree. Literally, I had spit Riddle all caps underlined twice. And then swallow everything New Day and Usos. That promo, Xavier Woods spitting straight fire. I just need more people to put some respect on Xavier Woods' name. Point blank, period. That man is underrated in the ring. One of the most talented people. Underrated on the mic. One of the best talkers when given the chance. The match, incredible. Those are wrestling soulmates. They could literally feud every year randomly forever. Yep. And it'll be fantastic. Yes, Squints, calm down.
And not just that, but then after that, they go in the back. After the win, Roman's like, yeah, it feels good, right? We're the GOATs. This and that. We got some business to handle. They go out to the ring at the end of fucking SmackDown to talk their shit. And then here come the Brawling Brutes. They bring back Sheamus. Drew comes down to kick it with, his buddy from over in the UK. His friends, and now we look like we have 4 of the 5 men on both sides of the teams, 5 if you count Sammy, for fucking War Games.
War Games.
The Brawling Brutes with Sheamus, Drew, Whoever their fifth member is, I'm hoping for someone from the UK. I know a lot of people are saying KO. I'd be okay with that too. Versus the Bloodline with Sammy in War Games. We've got our women set up. We'll talk about that later. We got our men's is falling into place. I'm all for it. Because
fuck yeah.
who?
I'm a gargle because I'm not sure if I'm feeling Drew and the Brutes versus Bloodline. I was like, especially after like the match tonight, I was kind of hoping they'd include New Day in there. Like they'd be one of the key pieces there. I like Kevin Owens there. Or like maybe a new challenger to step up to Roman. If that's true, then okay, cool. But I don't know. Like I need time. I need time for them to win me over and like really get behind Brutes versus Bloodline because I'm not really feeling it at the moment.
So it makes sense to me storyline wise because Solo joining the Bloodline screwed Drew over in his title match against Roman. And that's what cost Drew his match there. You know that there's a relationship between Drew and Sheamus. The Brawling Brutes have been feuding with the Usos for the titles and also got screwed out of their title shot.
Yep.
And Sheamus got taken out by the Usos so he could go get married.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. You're right. It makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying I'm not really feeling it right now.
Well,
I need to warm up to it because like you kind of like
2 weeks.
Like because I see the women's like card, like the matchup, and that's got me excited. That's got me chomping at the bit. But I'm looking at the men's one. I'm excited to have all 5 members of the Bloodline in War Games. I don't know. I don't know who I was expecting, but it really wasn't Drew and Brawling Brutes, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, the men's had way more opportunities for it to be whoever.
Yes.
Because as soon as it was announced that it was going to be War Games, everyone was like, all right, cool. Well, the Bloodline's definitely going to be in a point blank period. And then people started fantasy booking the other side. I saw a lot of Brawling Brutes with Sheamus being 3 of the 5 for a long time. Bringing in Drew, like Matt said, makes a lot of sense. I like that idea. I mean, that's more big meaty men slab meat. So that's there. But I do like Matt's idea about bringing someone in from the UK. I don't know who, though. But that would be interesting.
I haven't seen Tyler Bate in a while.
That's true.
Stop. Yes.
I
want it now.
So I guess my question to you guys may not care or not, but like, where does this leave Karrion Kross? Because they split their feud between. Didn't they split the feud or like?
No, that's done.
Like so that's done. Just Drew won the whole thing at
probably.
Crown.
I guess
okay
because I enjoy Karrion Kross. I don't really. I mean, they can just get him in another feud. Like I'm not concerned about the future of Karrion Kross.
Yeah,
he'll be there. Scarlett will be there. I'll be happy.
I don't know. That's just kind of like what threw me off because I thought it'd still be Kross versus Drew kept going.
Sammy's not around. Kross could be that 5th man on their team.
No, I think Sammy's there.
He's
going to be back next
week.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got his match next week, and if he ends up winning the tournament, then he will be at War Games wrestling Gunther for the IC title if he wins the tournament. So he might not be eligible for War Games because he may have an IC title match.
It was supposed to be Jinder Mahal.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Don't worry, we'll talk about that. Vince, spit or swallow?
Spit or swallow. Let's see what. Okay, because we talked about him already, but I just want to elaborate. Seth Rollins' first US Open Challenge attempt, where he came out, had like this whole like promo. It was fantastic. Seth is literally like the man on Raw. Like that man has everyone in the palm of his hands. It's fantastic. Judgment Day comes out. Say what you will about Judgment Day. I like the aesthetic. Their entrance is really cool. I still like Dom. Like, I think heel Dom is like working better than like babyface Dom. It's not perfect. Then OC came out with AJ Styles, and then like that one shot of AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins, both right there with the US title. That's a triple threat match that I want to see. If I'm not mistaken, I think we might have already seen it, or there might have been like a person that substituted AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think it was Miz instead. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But that would be a fantastic match. Seth, AJ, Finn for the U.S. Championship. It would be another way to elevate that United States Championship that Seth is continuously doing. But then it all then ahead culminated to more OC Judgment Day stuff. It basically gave me like the whole "I'm not finished with you" vibes from Braun Strowman to Roman Reigns with AJ and Finn, and then like we saw the return of Mia Yim joining the OC, aligning with the OC. I don't know if she's an official OC member or not because they didn't too sweet, so I don't think that's official yet until you start too sweeting people. But I interested to see that.
I'm smiling because so I listened to you do your whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And you like and by the way, Mia Yim, whereas like my entire swallow, which it was next on my list, was Mia Yim returns, whoops Rhea's ass. And then Sexecutioners ruin Seth's open challenge. OC come down, introduce the woman who found them. They wreck house. Sexecutioners are pissed. OC is stoked. Mia Yim and Rhea possibly being the final members on those War Games teams. We'll see how that plays out because
that's a possibility.
Each War Games team still needs 3 more women. I think Candice is one of them, so probably 2.
Yeah. And the stare down between Rhea and Bianca.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I saw that too.
I've been saying it for months. Rhea's going to be willing to take it off of Bianca. I've been saying it, and everyone's just like, no, it's going to be Bayley. No, it's going to be Rhea.
Just let Rhea fight, man.
Don't even get me fucking started. Let her fight everybody, for the love of God.
No, for
fight
real.
Me too.
At this point, I feel like it has to be Rhea because it doesn't feel like anyone else in that Raw Women's division is up to par to even challenge realistically Bianca Belair for that women's title. To be honest with you, but to touch back to what you were saying about Mia Yim, it's just like I felt like it kind of like happened. Like her impact was more felt on a grander scale in the backstage segment stuff because it felt like she was more her. Like it just kind of felt like she was there. I'm like, oh hey, Mia Yim, like oh shit. I don't know. I don't think it was like the most impactful way to debut her, but like I'm glad she was there. She was
for somebody who's not watching the product. Yeah, I can see that. But if you're familiar with Mia Yim, her history with all that, like that didn't like I could see like if it was a casual watching, they're like, oh, I don't know who this is. Why is this so cool? Like I wouldn't be like, oh, they didn't do anything to. Yeah, so like I get that it's an AEWS debut if you're not familiar with the WWE product. But for me, it wasn't. It was Mia Yim's back. Also, Vince. Yes. When Katie starts talking about Rhea, you have a job, and your job is to play this.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
I forgot about that one.
Get on your.
No, well, I was talking too, so that's why
She's talking, and while she's talking, your job.
No, remember he always talks over me, so it doesn't matter.
He doesn't always talk over you, and so does your co-host. So,
don't fuck off! Don't get me started.
Okay, so I guess my whole thing is like I was spoiled with the fact that Mia returned because I didn't see it on Twitter, but my Google like news like had like a notification that basically was saying it's like Mia Yim returns and joins faction. And in my head, for whatever reason, I thought she joined Damage Control. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool. They're adding more to Damage Control.
You want me to keep us on track and not go long in the first 3 spits and swallows we have gone on tangents about. So I went like this to get you to wrap it up, and I don't think you noticed. So the ring bell, I said that's what I was going to use it for. So that's what I'm using it for. We got to wrap that up. Katie, spit or swallow?
Briefly, it was brought up. The women's War Games match setup. I'm swallowing for the most part, but kind of just gargling the fact that Nikki was just randomly brought on, and then they had her win the 24/7 title for no reason. That was kind of weird. Like, I don't think that needed to happen to be like, oh yeah, we can have Nikki on our team, sure. So that part was a little weird, so I don't know how I feel about that. But we knew it was going to be Bianca, Asuka, Alexa. Candice is definitely going to be on team Bianca. I do like the idea that we don't necessarily know who the 5th woman on each team is going to be. So that's exciting. I do like the idea of it being Rhea and Mia, though, because tension.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and I also don't like the fact that the women's tag titles were kind of getting hot potatoed. But that's a whole other story. So yeah, mostly a swallow, kind of a gargle.
So I'm spitting Dakota's promo from that. It was not good.
I
I am
Really?
swallowing. I'm
You
swallowing.
didn't like the part where she's like, Bianca, you still haven't eaten Bailey.
No. I'm swallowing the back and forth between Asuka and Io that happened though, because that was fucking fantastic.
Yes.
Bitch! Look at you upgrading the show, Vince. I'm so proud of you. My biggest question is, what the fuck did Dana do to have Damage Control unleash Nikki on her? Like, I'm cool with the 24/7 title being gone. Like,
I know you are.
I'll argue with TC all day about how they, whatever. I don't care if they use it or not. Like, it at this point, it was fucking useless. Let it be gone. It's gone. So I'm good with that. Like, Nikki won it, threw it, trash, gone, retired, blah. Like, that was just a means to an end. Kind of like, it's the same argument I have for Austin Theory. It was a means to a fucking end, and I'm happy with the end result. And that's all that matters at this point. We still need 2 more women for Bianca's team.
Candace,
one more for Damage Control. If it's Candace.
No, I 100% feel like it's Candace. She's been too involved with this whole like Damage Control, Bianca and the Super Friends like storyline to not be included in it. Obviously, Nikki is being aligned with Damage Control. You need a heel, you need a face, Mia, Rhea. Just throw them all in there. I think that's exactly what you do, and you can actually have Rhea versus Bianca be set up in that War Games match.
And I mean, I'm excited for War Games because where else can you see 5-on-5 women eating each other in a cage? Like,
there's got to be a category for that somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there is. You can find it here on Pornhub, where you may or may not be watching us or listening to us. But also in wrestling. See, that should have been my intro. Number 1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, where 5-on-5 women eating themselves in a cage or eating each other in a cage. I don't know. I gotta work on it.
I'm trying to think how many of the women have been in a War Games match before. Bianca, Io, Dakota.
Yes. Well, was Dakota in it? Because she
Rhea.
just kind of like kicked Tegan Knox.
Well, I was more so thinking like the people who are officially in it.
Mm-hmm.
But if Rhea, Candace, because they were part of the first winning team.
Well, yeah, that's it. Because Alexa, Asuka, and Bailey have never been in War Games.
No.
Yeah. Damn.
I thought you were trying to remember if you could, like, when you were sitting there and we were talking about it, I'm like, she's like, have I ever watched a porn where 5 women ate 5 women?
I thought that's where Katie was going with it too.
If you're trying to think of what the category would be, that's what I thought.
No, I was trying to think of how many of the women have been in a fucking War Games match. Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, guys.
You can't blame us. We were just having that conversation.
If it was on Pornhub, they call it Whore Games.
Damn it.
That would have been a great title. That would have been a great title.
No, this title's perfect.
No,
it.
Yeah. I am swallowing Loomis's fuck you pay me energy for The Miz after The Miz cheated Johnny Gargano. I know not a lot of people are loving this. I will say I feel like this whole story kind of took a downturn with the addition of Johnny Gargano. I much would have rather personally had Johnny stick to the Austin Theory stuff and let whatever was happening between The Miz and Loomis play out. Because I feel like we've kind of gotten away from Miz and Loomis by adding Johnny, and I get why maybe they did that, but I enjoyed it more when it was just Loomis randomly attacking Miz from out of nowhere. However, now we know the reason, and the reason is that Dexter Loomis was hired by Miz to make himself feel more important and then stop paying this man, and now he wants his fucking money or he wants his contract. And this man is not going to stop until he gets his money or his contract, and I am all about the fuck you pay me energy. So,
give me your fucking money. Sorry.
No, I'm with. Yeah, I'm gonna look for something. I'm with you. I like what everything involving Johnny and Miz and Loomis though, because I feel like you kind of needed someone to explain everything to kind of like expose it, because it wasn't gonna be Loomis. Is it the perfect execution? Probably not, but my biggest issue with it is the fact that Johnny continuously is taking L's in like this whole thing. It's like Loomis is still doing his stuff. Miz just just getting exposed left and right, which I'm all okay with. But it's Johnny Gargano that's looking like he's getting the worst end of things, unless it's just me.
Dexter should have just been backstage drawing pictures to explain why he's attacking Miz. Like weird, vague pictures that if you put them kind of like with the QR codes, like fun a little puzzle that you could follow to figure out the reason why Dexter was hunting the Miz.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what they should have done. Because I know everyone jokes about the QR codes, but the QR codes were fucking fantastic, and Bray Wyatt is shit. So
who's joking about the QR codes? Those were
Warren jokes about it. He goes, "If it's not QR," Warren jokes about the QR codes all the time.
Oh,
Like,
well,
it's not
Warren.
QR codes, and it's bullshit. Man, QR codes were
He's
fucking
Canadian.
awesome.
Maybe Warren's just not a technically not. I can't speak. Never mind. Move on. Technologically advanced enough.
I was gonna say, what'd you say about Warren's tits?
Oh,
I've never seen them.
Tits.
I've never seen.
Would you like to? Because I might be able to arrange that.
If you can, please do.
Warren, if you're listening to this, Vince needs a tit pic in his DMs.
They're dumb.
Mr. Warren's yays. Anyway, Vince, spit or swallow.
Let's see. I think that's all of my stuff for Raw because we just kind of like all hammered out everything that I had for Raw. I'm gonna go back to SmackDown because we loosely touched on SmackDown already, and I'm gonna go ahead and swallow the LA Knights interview that had a bunch of like creepy Bray Wyatt stuff, and then Bray Wyatt shows up, and then he's giving him like this whole rambling rabbit promo. LA Knight doesn't think much of it, and then gets headbutted for his troubles, and just gets looked like a little bitch.
Doesn't think much of it. LA Knight got what he fucking deserved for being.
No.
Bray came in and Bray was like, "Hey, bro, let's be friends." And LA Knight got disrespectful, and when you get disrespectful with motherfucking Bray Wyatt, you get head to the face.
Or you just get head.
No, to the face.
Okay. Well,
then again, I don't know. Maybe JoJo is disrespectful, and who knows? I don't know what they do in their personal life. It could be.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Yeah. I'm with you, Vince. LA Knight bitching about how he's not in the World Cup.
Yeah.
The stuff playing, then he's like, "I'm more important than this guy," and then Bray showing up, and he's like, "Hey, I see in you the same anger," and he's trying to talk to him, trying to make friends, and then LA Knight's just a dickhead, and Bray, right in the fucking mouth.
Fucked him up.
Pops him right in the mouth.
I like how he got up. He was like, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?" He was so
muffled LA Knight.
Bringing it back.
I always bring it back, Vince.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
But yeah, Bray Wyatt, LA Knight, that whole interaction. I didn't think I was gonna get it tonight, but we got it. It was good.
I didn't think we were getting it ever. I didn't have that on my bingo card, but I'm 1,000% about it.
No,
hell yeah!
Definitely not on the bingo card.
Two fantastic talkers. This is a good first feud for Bray, or he's recruiting. Who knows what he's doing?
It sounded like he was kind of trying to recruit him.
And that was points for me. So
points for you. House of Horrors. LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. Book it.
Whoa, what about whores?
House of Horrors.
I know what a whorehouse is. Why are we talking about one?
I think you're trying to say the word horrors. There's another R there.
That's what I said.
House of Horrors.
I said House of Horrors.
No, you now you did.
I heard horrors. Before you've been saying House of Horrors.
Like, House of Horrors.
You have your mind in the gutter, sir. That's
my mind lives in the gutter.
I heard it too.
You spend just as much time. You spend way too much time with Matt, so your mind's probably in the gutter too.
First of all, Matt's my friend. Second of all, I heard whores. Hence why I corrected you. Horror. There's another R there.
My mind isn't in the gutter. My mind is the gutter, and the rack lives there. First off. Second off, you said whores. Anyone in the chat listening?
Nope.
All right. Yeah.
Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow the Brutus Kemp match just because Brutus started beating the absolute shit out of Damon Kemp with a chair, as he should. And it was a nice little taste of Kemp's medicine. So, plus Brutus is crazy. Like, if you just let him go off, we know Julius is like the star because man's got talent for days. But it was nice seeing Brutus kind of get a shine as like a singles guy for 3 minutes. So that was about it. And it kind of continues this whole thing they have with Veer and Senga, which I'm invested in. Is still kind of just confused as to why Senga decided to join back up with Veer, because they're not telling us. They're just being super secretive about it. So maybe Veer's got some dirt on Senga. Who knows? But Brutus and Damon Kemp, yes, swallow.
Big meaty men gonna slap meat in the tag team match.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was on my list. Swallowing Damon Kemp getting his ass beat and Sangha and Veer putting their eyes on the Creeds.
As they should. Have you seen Julius Creed? God damn.
Ooh. See, Vince, where's the leak, ma'am? Sir!
Slacking.
Well, then you could play it too. I thought that was the whole point, was that we could both use the soundboard.
Matt, I also don't know why
I
you're
am
surprised.
hosting
I
a
throw
show.
over basically everybody, so...
I know, which is why there's always an opportunity to play this. And I just had a conversation with Vince about using this. But anyway.
Darn.
You know what? Vince is right. We covered most of SmackDown. So I'm swallowing Shotzi Blackheart getting the win in that fucking women's match, become the number 1 contender for Ronda's title. Yeah. Because I definitely thought they were going to give it to Raquel. I think most people thought they were going to give it to Raquel. I didn't. I love Shotzi. I do. Shotzi and Xia Li, if I could have picked 2 people in that match to win, would have been it. Did I think it was going to happen? Absolutely not. But she fucking more points on my fantasy board, which was also fucking fantastic. But yeah, no, Shotzi then backstage bonding with Emma, who wants to fuck Madcap apparently, which makes no sense to me. You know,
I mean, real life wise, they're together, but yes.
Wait, are they really?
Yes.
No way.
It's.
How am I just now finding out about this?
I don't know where you've been. She's kind of been posting about it on social media for a few months. So.
Get the fuck. Well then.
Pay attention.
I don't pay attention.
Like this isn't like feeling like this isn't like finding out Santa isn't real, but it's like somewhere just a little less than.
It's like finding out that the tooth fairy isn't real, and it's just your parents taking your tooth out of the pillow and putting a quarter or $1 or how much or whatever amount of money they gave you. That's what that is.
Yeah, so anyways.
But no, going to what you're saying, I'm with you. I didn't think Shotzi was gonna win. I don't know. I saw the entire lineup on my. I don't know who the fuck's gonna win. It's not sure it's not gonna be Lacey Evans. She's been gone for the last 2 months. Who knows where the fuck she's been doing? In my mind, I'm like, they're probably just gonna give it to fucking Raquel because they pushed the one Mexican that I don't fucking like. So like they always just go up against me. But no, I'm with you. I'm excited with Shotzi. I think that's a really cool option, it's an exciting option. So I'm all about it.
And they set it up in the backstage with Shayna coming up and talking shit and trying to put Shotzi down after she bonded with Emma. And Shotzi talking her shit. And then she's like, "Oh, you got something to say? Say it. You want to say it to Ronda?" Shotzi turned around and she didn't back down. She looked Ronda right in the fucking eye. And then Shayna, who, again, Shayna and Ronda together are exponentially better than Shayna and Ronda apart, chokes out Shotzi. And Ronda has to drop the stupid line, clean up on aisle green. But it's fucking Ronda. I don't really expect much better from her.
True.
Yes.
I still want Shayna to play this up and be like, "Oh yeah, we're besties, we're friends, 4 Horsewomen MMA, all that bullshit," and then Shayna be the one to take it off her and get a nice, solid NXT run.
Well, I mean, I want Shotzi to take it off her because now she's a number 1 contender. So let's do that. But then after that, like,
you wouldn't want to see them like have a run with the women's tag titles because
fuck no.
I would.
I don't want Ronda holding a title anymore. In any capacity. Give her the 24/7 title. Put her in the trash. I don't like Ronda Rousey.
I don't disagree with you. I just don't hate the idea of her being in the tag team division. I just don't want her being the top women's champion of a brand.
I don't want her near titles anymore. Point blank, period.
All right. Fair enough.
You just say you wanted to top the women's champion?
Who, me?
What?
Yeah, you.
No.
Oh.
You're hearing things. You're
Say,
hearing
what?
things.
I don't know. You've been talking about horrors, now you're trying to top the women's champion. What you got going on over there, Vince?
No. Like, it sounds like someone muffled.
Do you need to take a break and go milk Michael Myers real quick? Come back.
Stop making it a thing.
It's a thing.
No.
I couldn't make D-Wagons happen, but I made milking Michael Myers happen. All right.
It's no.
Only you.
It's not. It's like fetch, Matt. You're not gonna make
No,
it happen.
D-Wagons
before-
were like fetch. Milking Michael Myers is a thing, and Katie knows it is. And
I hate it.
if you're not a fan of Getting Off, you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, but you should definitely go listen to the recap that we did of Halloween Ends so you can learn all about Milk and Michael Myers.
If you know, you know.
And maybe get a t-shirt.
Maybe get a t-shirt.
Vince, spit or swallow.
One of the last things on SmackDown, I'm gonna swallow Santos Escobar versus Shinsuke Nakamura in the first round of the SmackDown World Cup. Mexico wins.
And you said they only push Mexicans you don't like.
I know. I went into it with the preconceived notion that they were gonna push Raquel and they were gonna like have Santos lose, but I don't know. Like, part of me was like, will they give Shinsuke the win? He's gonna face the Great Muta. Maybe they want to build him up, but they really want him to take an L. But there's so much extra like curricular activity outside the ring with Legado and Selena that like it's an excusable loss for Shinsuke to take. And I'm all for Mexico moving on in the World Cup.
Where the fuck did the chat go?
They all disappeared. They all went to bed, man.
Nobody likes us anymore.
What? Bullshit. I don't do this
What?
for them anyway. I did this for 5 years without a chat. I can do it for one more night. No, I actually love you all. You guys should all come back. I miss you so very, very much. I'm with you, Vince. I actually didn't write it down because I knew you were going to cover that. But he couldn't cut it in NXT, but now he's on SmackDown thriving with a whole new group and Zelina Vega running the show. So, like, good for him.
Zelina.
I will say I do like the addition of Selena to Legado, and as much as I liked Elektra Lopez, I feel like she should have definitely stayed in NXT. She could have like used a little bit more grooming, like in the ring.
Well, she's still there.
Say what?
Is Reek here?
No.
Is Reek here? Oh,
No.
somebody said grooming. I thought Reek was here.
Stupid.
Well, hold up.
It's a throwback. Holy shit.
Pardon me if I don't get it, but what is there to groom? Like, that man has like nothing going on here.
It's a whole conversation.
I will explain it to you after the show, Vince.
After the fact. Ex de facto.
That's like an inside joke.
Inside the mind.
That's a deep cut. I forgot about that shit.
That shit cut deep. No, but
I don't even. We were talking about the Electro and how
Legado
back on NXT. Yeah, Legado.
Yeah.
Zelina, yeah.
Winning.
Legado, Elektra being on her own seems like the better move, and Selena just fits perfectly with Legado because it just kind of like gives us what she was doing when she was with Angel Garza and Andrade, but with an established faction, or what they were trying to go with that.
Swallow.
All of
Katie, spit or swallow?
Since I'm just vibing over here in NXT by myself. I'm swallowing.
You don't take it all.
This is swallow. I have a few other things, but the main event, the tag match, Team Ninja, Team KC, Team K2, whatever you fucking want to call them. Disco Ninja Party, is that what you call them?
Disco Ninja Party. That should be the permanent one.
Disco Ninja Party or Ninja Disco Party, one of the two.
Something like that. Taking on Zoe and
1-6
Fakita.
Mafia.
Yeah, the 1-6 Mafia.
Shout out to Jesus, who didn't show up tonight.
Yeah, where the fuck is Jesus?
You gotta get your people, Vince. That's your guy. I don't know why he's not here.
I don't know. Was he on She Elite? I don't think he was on She Elite either.
He popped in.
Popped in?
You might want to text him, see if he's alive.
No.
He has risen.
Maybe he has a hot date. You never know.
Oh my god. So the
Hotter
tag
than this
match.
show? Kyle showed up on his wedding night.
Drunk, but he did. That's crazy. No, this tag match, like I've been saying, Team Ninja, Team Disco Ninja Party, whatever, they have been busting their ass as a tag team forever, basically, in NXT. Like one of the only women's tag teams for the longest time. And as champions, they're holding their own and they're kicking ass. They're taking names. Who's next for them? I don't know, because again, there's not a whole lot of women's teams in NXT. And now that Zoe turned, which we kind of all saw coming because she was slowly starting to lose her mind. But I like the fact that they're separated now, because now we get a nice little another women. NXT does the best with their women. They have so many, and there's so many different feuds going on at the same time. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. Because now we're gonna get Zoe and Fakita. We have Alba and everything with Toxic Attraction. There's so much going on and so many women. I like it. They're utilizing it well.
You could say that Zoe's no longer down with the thickness.
Yes.
Is
that where you were smiling?
He thought about it.
I was just waiting for you to wrap it up so I could make my down with the thickness joke, because I actually have that in my notes.
We'll talk about.
Is it at all concerning that they continuously break up women's tag teams in NXT?
No.
I mean, they don't.
We just addressed the fact that there's no women's tag team aside from Toxic Attraction and Disco Ninja Warriors. But it's like, who else is there?
Well, no, not Valentina Feroz. Who's the other one? I forget her name. She's injured.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Like they have
Ivy Niles and
Ivy and Tatum is still a tag team. They've been doing stuff on Level Up. Lash is teaming with I don't
Amari Miller.
No, I don't think it's Amari Miller. I think it's Jakara, one of their newer signees. Saw part of the match on Twitter. It looked really good. So there are tag teams that they have. They're just not on the main show of NXT. So they have the capability, and the women's roster is fucking massive. So they have the ability to do it. We just have to wait for them to do it.
I don't know. I think what they should do is they should just go ahead and hire me and Katie to book women's tag teams and create women's tag teams, because we have a track record of doing a very swell job at that.
I mean,
you guys did all right.
I listen.
I had issues, but you know.
I know
you never talked about said issues, so that's
yes, I did. I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Not the time or place, Matt.
I mean, it's my time and my place, Vince.
My time, my place.
I'm with you on that. That was my final swallow from NXT. Was Disco Ninja Party getting the win? It was a great match, and then, like you said, we got the turn at the end. No longer down with the thickness. All good with that. I am going to spit Braun Strowman winning on SmackDown. I have not rooted for Jinder Mahal to do anything in a very long time. This was the first time, because I just don't give two fucks about Braun Strowman, and he can't get out of his own fucking way. He couldn't get out of his own fucking way the first time he was in WWE. Every time they tried to push him, he fucked something up. He showed up late. He left early. He did some dumb shit. Then he got fired. He couldn't get out of his own way, talking shit about the indies and then having to be an indie and then trying to pretend he wasn't an indie. And now he's back, and he can't shut his fucking mouth and get out of his own fucking way and just let people enjoy him now that he's back. And I really just don't give two fucks about Braun Strowman anymore. And I much would have rather had Jinder get the win.
Yes.
How do you hinder Jinder? Like, how do you go on in life knowing that you hindered Jinder? Like, that's a fault. That's an L in life. That's an L in life. What else?
You big Jinder fan?
I like the Maharaja.
The modern day Maharaja.
He's my Maharaja.
Is he?
Yeah, well, I was a big 3MB guy. Believe it or not. I actually have a t-shirt of a 3MB farewell tour t-shirt that has Drew McIntyre, Jinder, and Seth, and Heath Slater.
Literally does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
Why? Because it's a ridiculous gimmick that I have no business liking, but I do for some reason.
Exactly.
And also, like, if I were to picture, like, oh, I'm a 3MB guy, like,
What's I don't even
Vicente
know.
Delgado.
I don't even know.
You look like a 3MB guy. I'm just
I
saying.
don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
You give off big 3MB energy.
Yeah.
I guess.
You're like the wrestling's version of a Swiftie. Like,
It's funny. Anyways.
Vince, bitter swallow.
Isn't it Vince's turn?
Oh, fuck. Where did I go from there?
Can't believe people are missing this. It's crazy.
Fuck. I'm legit stumped. But let's go to AEW and swallow more women's wrestling. Jamie Hayter and Sky Blue, just simply for happening. It was I like that they wrestled each other. I don't believe I've seen them wrestle each other up until this week.
Not in singles, but they have in tag.
Yep.
No, I said
Tag
myself. I don't think I've
well.
actually seen them because if they've
You have
wrestled
to
on,
watch the show to see it, Vince.
I don't watch Rampage. I don't watch Dark. I don't watch Elevation.
And you don't watch Dynamite after Chris Jericho shows up, which there was no Jericho this week. I thought that was going to be your biggest.
Yeah, because he's on the Masked Singer.
Shh.
Probably.
Shh.
Shut up.
Allegedly
and
on the
dance
Masked
with
I said
Singer.
probably. That
Just
episode
me
was-
and the entire world knows what the fuck he sounds like, except for the judges. He hasn't been revealed yet. No spoilers.
I literally he was singing and I walked with my mom. I was like, listen to that voice. Tell me who it is. And she's like, I don't know. I was like, it's fucking Chris Jericho.
I did the same
It's
thing with
right
my wife.
there.
I did the same thing with my
It's
wife.
there.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like, just listen.
Sorry, that we're not talking about Chris Jericho. Vince wants to talk about Sky Blue and Jimmy Hayter.
Yeah, my only critique was I wish they had gotten more time because it felt like it just kind of lasted for a handful of minutes and then that was it. I don't know.
All the women's matches on
I know.
AEW.
I know.
Not.
Unless you're like in a tag match or something, in which case it goes
Even
maybe
then,
10
half
minutes.
the time they don't get a lot. That's neither here nor there. But continue.
It was also probably Sky Blue's best match in AEW so far for the time it was
True.
given. So
Shout out to Sky Blue.
big swallow
Yeah.
there.
I'm coming around to Jamie Hayter, and Sky Blue is a big reason for it now.
Jamie Hayter's gonna be champion next week. Can you believe? Crazy.
Yeah.
She's gonna win.
Kadady, spit or swallow.
Excuse me. I'm spitting the entirety of the Grayson Waller effect on NXT. I do not give two flying fucks about. Oh my god, we have so many names for him. Ancient Andy,
Jurassic Gym.
Jurassic Jim, Dino
Prehistoric
Dan. What?
Prehistoric Paul.
Oh, Prehistoric Paul. So many. I don't care about him or his existence. I was told that he is a second generation superstar. I said, oh, I did not know that. And multiple
Second
people were like,
generation
oh, yeah.
jobber.
Who? Prehistoric Andy?
Yeah. Did you say?
Did you just call him Prehistoric Andy?
I always get them butchered, man. I don't care enough about him.
Vince, the gimmick is that the adjective matches the first letter of the name. So ancient Andy, BC Bob,
Paul.
Prehistoric Paul, Jurassic Jim. They both start
Dino
with J's.
Dan.
I
Dino
thought
Dan.
it was Pete. Prehistoric Pete.
No, it was never Pete.
No, you deemed it Pete. We deemed it Paul.
I just call him whatever the fuck I call him on a
Man
weekly
said
basis.
Prehistoric Andy with his whole chest. I can't believe that happened. Anyways, yes, Ancient Andy.
At least I
is
brought
a
my
second
chest
generation superstar.
unlike Warren. You know. Wait,
He's
what?
Oh my god! All right,
He still might bring his chest.
He still might.
His whole
I don't
chest.
care about that. I don't care about.
You don't care about Warren's chest.
I'm not fucking talking about that. I'm talking about what I'm
Okay,
spitting, which is the Grayson Waller effect. Period. Thank you. So let me fucking talk for a second. I don't like this. Mello's gonna be the one to take the title off of Braun. That's what needs to happen. Grayson Waller is a annoying little shithead. I don't care. I don't need him on NXT anymore doing this shitty talk show. I just don't care about this feud and anything. It sucks.
There's a list of people I want to see Braun Breaker wrestle. JD McDundundun and fucking Von Wagner are not two of them.
No.
I would have much rather had Apollo Crews, Carmelo Hayes. I could go on. we're not getting what I want. Give me
Yeah,
what I want.
I don't want
And
anything
Vince
with.
it's too late
Yep.
now, Vince. It's too late.
Nope, it's too late.
No,
It's too late.
can't do it.
Nope.
It's too late.
Yeah, I don't want JD
Don't do it.
McDungarees anymore either. So
I am going to spit the Viking Raiders bringing Sarah Logan back and wrecking minorities because it felt not right to me. There was just something about the fact that they decided to pick on Hit Row and Legado after bringing Sarah back, and there's some things that we have learned about Sarah in the past. Outside of the fact that she ripped off, Max the Impaler, independent wrestler, entire look. Just something didn't sit right about the Viking Raiders coming in and wrecking minorities for me.
Sarah Logan needs to put some goddamn shoes on. I don't like people wrestling in bare feet. Matt
She
Riddle.
looks so musty.
She
fuck was
looks.
she wearing, man? Like,
I mean, listen, guys. God of War Ragnarok just came out. They had to return. Like, it only made sense. Like, I like the idea of the Viking Raiders being back because that's another tag team for the division. Ow! But Sarah Logan sucks. I don't want her back. That whole thing with them attacking every minority they probably could in a segment, not fucking cool. Yeah, the only thing I like about them coming back is another tag team.
And I don't think I would have had the same reaction to them doing it if they hadn't brought Sarah back with them.
Yeah, and we knew because Valhalla, and she was the fucking thing with the fire. I fucking hate her.
I just don't need Sarah Logan ever around anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, I was never really a big fan of War Machine, War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever. I never got behind them. I saw they were good in the ring. I just could never get behind them. You
couldn't handle them from behind.
I didn't want to. Talk about flaccid penises. That they gave me a flaccid penis.
I cannot believe that because one of the War Raiders looks a lot like someone that you like to masturbate to, or
allegedly. Air quotes, allegedly.
No, you're more distinguished, Matt.
I appreciate that. I think I am too.
Yeah.
I'm like a handsome Eric.
Yeah,
Eric. It's Kyle and Kevin every time. That's all I think about.
Well, see, now I got a flaccid penis.
Well, I literally said it every time.
Oh man,
They look like.
Just ruin that.
I'm just stating facts. So I'm sorry.
Why are you the way that you are?
Fuck.
I don't even know what that said.
Well, it's see, that's the thing. Like the StreamYard thing, sometimes it fucks up the soundbite. So it doesn't.
It didn't fuck it up on the recording, but I think it fucks up for us because when I listened back to last week's, there's one I played that it cut off. Mm-hmm. You guys knew what it was, but it played the whole thing on the recording. So
yeah, I've noticed that as well because sometimes we'll play the intro and then it'll speed it up at the beginning for us, but then when I go back and watch it, it works perfectly for everyone else. So I guess just fuck us then,
Fuck you and Spit or Swallow.
I'm gonna stick with AEW and you know what? Fuck it, whatever. I'm gonna swallow Samoa Joe fucking up Wardlow hard. I thought that was great. Finally, they're no longer a thing. I was never behind Ward Joe. I was not a fan. He fucked up Wardlow, or what I'm gonna be calling him now is Warback, because he just reminds me of this new generations of Ryback. That's who I think of. I just see Ryback when I see Wardlow. So Samoa Joe fucking him up, but I am gonna give a spit to the stupid cameraman botch because they were had the camera on Joe the entire time, and then the minute they cut to Hobbs is when Joe attacks, and they just completely missed the attack. They had to show it on instant replay. But yeah, shout out to Joe for fucking up Wardlow.
I mean, I'm with you and I'm not.
Yeah, that's
because
exactly
I'm swallowing Joe getting fed up and choking out War Daddy because War Daddy got disrespectful and said some shit he shouldn't. War Daddy has been putting his hands on Joe, has been cutting Joe off like he's Savannah on a Wednesday night, has been fucking sitting here talking about I'm gonna take all the belts, just disrespecting his dad. So he had it coming. Like, I love Wardlow. He had it coming. However, all of the other disrespect to Wardlow, I cannot co-sign that shit.
No.
I can have none
It's
of
okay.
that.
I'm not asking you to co-sign. I'm not asking Katie to co-sign. I'm not asking. I'll go ahead and say, give a disclaimer and say that anything I say or think does not represent the
show. I already did that.
Exactly.
I did that long before you came here because people like to come on and say some wild shit that I don't want to be associated with, like Warback. Also,
Warback.
Powerhouse Hobbs talking a lot of shit. He better be ready to back up because now you got an angry War Daddy and Samoa Joe.
Hobbs I like, Joe I like, Warlock can stay on the bench.
Which the fact that that's the one you don't like blows my mind. I like all three. I loved Warjo because why? Warjo fucked hard. Exactly. I did say before they started teaming, I can't wait for Wardlow versus Samoa Joe because big mean men slapping meat. And now we have Powerhouse Hobbs involved. More big mean men slapping meat. I'm very excited about it. You know, I could say a lot of things about War Daddy being angry and Samoa Joe choking him out and jealous, whatever. It's all there. You guys all know. But I'm just very excited about everything with this. The cameraman,
Where's the leak, ma'am?
You're really just fucking up, Vince. There's 3 times, yeah. The cameraman botch, that did fucking suck. Like, how do you miss that? But
I was gonna say, what are you, an AEW cameraman, Vince?
Literally.
Just missing your spots.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Kevin
Dunn would never. He'd have every camera angle.
He would. Yeah, no. We're with you on that. Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow the MJF promo. Max be talking some shit recently, and I'm about it. I'm very much in this. Listen, I hate the rat bastard, and the fact that I kind of like him now irritates me. But I'm very much excited for the build for this because they really haven't been in the same ring together in a few weeks, like MJF and Mox. So them kind of being separated kind of just helps bubble this up to the surface. And then Full Gear's next week, so shit's gonna pop off. Very excited. But his promo, he spoke his shit. He is a generational talent. Whether we give him a lot of shit, but his mic work is fantastic. His in-ring work when he wrestles is great. So he talked the shit and he can back it up. So mad props.
I am going to take this time to agree with you, but also just give props to AEW because I listen, like I said, to everyone's show, and there are quite a few talents in AEW that I think we can for certain say, if you had asked us a year ago, certain members of us, not all of us, if we'd be talking about them the way we're talking about them now, we would not be. The Acclaimed, MJF, I believe there was somebody else on your show that you guys talked about. I can't remember who. Yeah, on your show. You and Savannah were talking about it. I don't remember. But they're doing a good job with some of these people, and a lot of them are homegrown AEW talent, or for the most part, indie talent that made it big on AEW, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
at the start with AEW.
Yeah. I really want Stokely's to be mine, but I also have like 4 things that I have on NXT still, and we bumped off NXT. So I'll let you guys take that, seeing as you guys are both on AEW and Vince hasn't touched NXT yet. I don't know if he has anything from NXT.
So Katie kept like mentioning stuff in the chat about NXT, and I'm like, this sounds horrible. I'm not watching this.
Okay.
So I skipped NXT this week.
I am swallowing Alba Fire, committing what I believe is a felony and impersonating a mall cop. I don't know if mall security falls under, the guise of that being a felony, but impersonating a mall cop, interrupting toxic FaceTime, and then dropping JC Jane and just leaving her in a parking lot where she belongs. Enjoy the shit out of that little segment.
Yo, what the fuck? What do you mean that's where she belongs?
What do you mean?
Like what? What? How did you like try to like just sneak that in there and just try to like move on? Like you didn't just say what you said.
She went to the mall to de-stress. That's where she belongs. She finds comfort in the mall. I don't under where she belongs, in a mall parking lot.
Sorry.
Okay,
Love me some
continue.
Toxic Attraction.
Oh
Continue.
yeah.
Gigi and Mandy. So yes, that's my swallow. Is Alba Fire's not done with Mandy. Still going on. Still may dethrone Mandy.
Next week.
Yes.
I think she will. Toxic moves up.
Yeah. I'm at this point. It's like who else? Like
Has
it's
to be.
similar to like the women's tag titles. It's like who the fuck else steps up?
Vince, spit or swallow.
I only have a few here, and I'm still on AEW. I'm surprised Katie hasn't mentioned it, but I'm gonna swallow Saraya coming out and announcing that she's fully medically cleared. She's gonna be wrestling. The whole promo battle off between Britt Baker and Saraya was fantastic, and I still don't know how to properly pronounce her name, so I'm just gonna call her Paige. But yeah, Paige and Britt just like tore it the fuck out. Like they were fantastic. They got me hyped for that fucking match, and I was not interested or at all intrigued in watching Full Gear whatsoever. But now, just for that match alone, I just want to tune in for that match. So, like, that's probably the most hot match for me going into Full Gear.
Would you like to know what I'm spitting about this segment, Vince?
Sure.
The fact that I listened to the Get Yo podcast, you guys talked about this, and you mentioned that her finisher needs a new name, and you know damn well what the new name of her finisher is because you were on this fucking show last week. You did not give me a shout out or say Saraya Sunshine at all on the Get Yo podcast.
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
It is the greatest wrestling finisher name in the history of wrestling finisher names, and I came up with it last week, and you sold the shit out of it, and then didn't even give me my. You did, Katie. I know I'm not mad at you. I heard you.
Thank you.
About it. And Diana loved it, and it was great, and I felt special. But my co-host, Vince, going out here talking about finishers and shit, doesn't even say, Matt called it Saraya Sunshine. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's what Matt called. Nothing. No credit. Saraya
It's a clever ass name.
On Britt Baker. Got it. Swallow that whole thing, including the Saraya, because that is her name, Saraya Sunshine.
Paige. I'm just going to Paige.
No.
I can't. Why not?
No. That's not her. That's not even her kayfabe name.
Why not? Why can't I?
Have some respect.
I still call Brian Danielson Daniel Bryan.
Well, I just do it by accident because the names are so similar. I just call him the American Dragon Jake Long, but it's not here nor there.
When like guys like Finn Balor show up on WWE, it's like that's Fergal Devitt. That's not Finn Balor. It's Fergal Devitt, and they refuse to call him by Finn. I'm like, why can't I do the opposite? Why can't I call him by the WWE name?
Fergal Devitt.
Yeah, when he was first showing up in NXT. I that was just the first example that I can get into my head. Okay, that was just my first example.
You can remember that, but you can't remember Saraya Sunshine.
Didn't resonate with me, man. Didn't resonate.
Resonate all over your face.
That'd be better. Resonate with me more than Wardlow. So.
And when I'm done, I'm gonna lean down and whisper in your ear. That was a Saraya of Sunshine.
Why are you like this?
Couldn't tell you. Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm spitting everything. Sting, Darby, Jay Lethal, JEFFJARRETT. Wow, I was a little slow. Forgot how to spell his name for a second. I'm spitting all of that. I don't give a fuck. Why is this match happening? I do not care. Jeff's stupid. I'm over it. I don't care anymore about this. Just let him stay backstage.
JEFFJR or JARRETT can JFF the fuck off. Do not need him on my TV.
No, and the fact that
I didn't put like Darby and all of that other shit on there. I just put spit JEFFJARRETT.
Which is my favorite thing to do now. Just spell out his name. That's the best
'Cause
part
I
about
am-
him, spelling his name.
MATTRIDDER.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, didn't we do country accents like last week?
That was the whole intro of the last show. Vince.
Yeah. Come on now.
Doesn't mean I was on board with the whole idea.
Listen,
You should have been.
you need to be on board with everything.
Yeah.
I'm spitting Duke Hudson throwing in the towel for Andre Chase in his match against. Like, I love Charlie Dempsey. I love Little Regal, all that. I don't know what the fuck, because like Duke's out here and he's like he's Team Chase, but now he's like fucking up Team Chase, and I feel like he's an infiltrator. There's some shit going on. He was supposed to be our new Blonde Bo Dallas and hold the flag. He is not properly holding the flag. Blonde Bo Dallas would never throw in the white towel.
Never.
And he's out here just trying to touch on fresh out of high school girls in their freshman year of college or whatever the fuck he's got going on, which is why he enrolled in the first place. Spitting Duke Hudson.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Bodie.
He's not dead.
In kayfabe, he is. R.I.P.
No.
Bodie.
He's no. He just
Rest in power.
transferred schools.
You'll be missed.
He just transferred school.
R.I.P.
Vince, spit or swallow.
This is my last one, actually, unless I think of something on the cuff. I'm spinning the fact that Guevara should have lost in back-to-back disqualifications. The logic makes no sense. He threw a steel chair at Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever, American Dragon, Jake Long, whatever we want to call him. He got DQ'd. Then he immediately went and started like fucking up his face with a microphone. It's like the match ends after the DQ, and then the next match starts. He should have been DQ'd right away. That's the way it's always worked whenever I do a 2 out of 3 falls in video games. So I'm going based off of video game logic alone, and only that reason that after the bell rings, the next match starts. He should have lost right then and there. Back-to-back DQ.
I'm all for the Sammy slander, so go ahead. Go ahead, Katie.
See, you seem to forget that AEW doesn't know how rules work. So that could be a very strong possibility as to why that did not happen. I will say you could say that because they still were on the outside and they didn't get back in the ring yet, that's why it didn't do a second one. You could say that, but it's AEW.
No.
Well, that's 100% the reason. So once the match ends for the first fall, they then start the next round, and the next round hadn't started because Sammy continued to beat on him. So that is why it wasn't a second DQ. But I'm also for all the fuck you, Sammy Guevara energy. So I'm going to let Vince slide on this one and just let him use his video game logic to justify his spit.
Also, too, I feel like I could, like, again, I could be wrong here, but I could have sworn in the back of my mind, in my faint memory, that there's been a precedent of a 2 out of 3 falls match where there's a DQ, then both wrestlers are on the outside, and the ref starts counting them down as if the next match started because the match started on the outside. Does it make sense? No, but I know the match to go a certain way. I think it should have gone a certain way. Fuck Sammy Guevara. Fuck AEW logic.
Did you say a president?
Precedent.
I thought he said president.
I heard president too, and I was like, of the
like,
United States?
Of America.
Oh,
So we've had one of those, and we don't ever need to do that again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with you. I mean, I'm swallowing Bryan Danielson getting the win, thank God, not Sammy. But other than that, oh, thanks. He's still drunk and listening to me talk on his wedding night. I appreciate it. Katie,
the only one listening.
All right. Well, I can't wait for any more, Matt. I have to do it. I'm swallowing Stokely's promo. The reason the episode is called what it is. This man, the cinematography of this promo was beautiful. He's just, walking out bridge, walking by some water, and he just starts talking shit on MJF, which was funny. And then he just said, "You can't be out here dick riding without a license." Excuse me? That was the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Yes, man.
The worst crime you can commit is dick riding without a license.
Which, I guess, no, you know what? I was going to say it, but never mind.
Were you going to say that you should be arrested?
No, I was going to say I should get a license, but...
You are on Pornhub now, so you might want to.
How does one obtain such license? Like, I think
I can show you after the show.
But yeah, so everyone go get your dick riding license. But it was, that was all I kept seeing that entire night was people just quoting that 10 out of 10. Funny as fuck.
That may be the funniest line of 2022 in any wrestling promo.
Yeah. There's been quite a few, but that one's top tier.
Because I was thinking about, like, titles for the episode, because I hadn't watched AEW up until, like, a certain point today. And then I got to the Stokely. Like, I hadn't gotten to the Stokely promo yet, and Matt's like, oh, Dick Random without a license is what I was thinking. I'm like, where the fuck did he get that? Like, I don't get it. I'm like, okay. Like, it's funny, but I'm like, okay. And then, like, I kid you not 5 minutes later after he texted me that that's what he wanted the title to be, the Stokely promo shows up, and I'm like, oh, well, now I get the whole picture. Now I see the vision.
See the vision of Dick riding without a license?
Sure.
Okay. Katie, do you have any more spits or swallows?
I have 2.
So do I. Vince, you're out,
Okay.
right?
I can bring one thing up if you guys don't mention it.
Okay. My swallow is Kiana James trying to buy the Henley bar and Jensen going back to being the pathetic virgin, not version. Well, I guess both work. Pathetic version of himself, virgin that he used to be, that, you know, I was kind of endearing when he, you know, only cared about getting laid for the first time and all that. So, like, we got old Jensen back, which made me happy. We got this cool little cinematic thing where Kiana's like, hey, I want to buy your bar and open up a whorehouse. And Henley's like, no, we're not doing that. I love my bar. I've got all these memories. I got fucked over there, and grandpa and grandma made my mom and dad back there, and all these great things. You can't take away these memories for your whorehouse.
I think we were watching different things.
Kiana not look like a madam? I'm sorry.
No, she does, but I think we're watching different things here.
I heard what I heard.
You saw what you wanted to see.
That was very much the opening of a porno from Brazzers. And everything Kiana James is in is an opening for a porno from Brazzers. It just didn't finish with the 3-on-2 male on woman orgy that we would have got from a Brazzers production.
See,
3-on-2.
There were 3 women: Henley, Kiana, and Kiana's assistant, Jean. And then
that's
Brooks and Dunn.
Didn't watch NXT. So didn't see the segment. So I'm trying to figure out who the 5th person was.
Yes.
See,
like, you shouldn't have painted such a terrible picture of NXT in the chat, because I'm like, God damn, this sounds horrendous.
There were like 3 good things about it. I was stating facts.
I have one more good thing about it.
Okay.
Well, I thank you, because you saved me 2 hours of my life that I probably would never get back.
Well.
Anything else about the bartender selling the bar to the whorehouse corporation?
No. T-Pain.
Okay. Vince.
Swallowing the opening to Dynamite, the Acclaim, FTR versus the Ass Boys, and Swerve in Our Glory. Shout out to Daddy Ass getting some of Swerve at the start of the match. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, it was a good match. I'm not the biggest fans of 6-man or 8-man tag matches, but, you know, like, Daddy Ass was out there. Yeah, was out there.
3 seconds, and then he got kicked out.
That's all I needed. Sometimes all you need
he
is
said,
3 seconds.
"Move, bitch."
Yeah.
Right straight to the ring.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, too, there's still like the tension, the bubbling under the surface with Keith Lee and Swerve, which I'm more intrigued in than anything that Wardlow and Joe did. But I digress.
Okay. Fair enough. Cater thought.
Are you asking me my spitter swallow?
Spitter swallow.
Okay, there we go. I'm swallowing the House of Black vignette just because again, they're shot beautifully. And everyone now has been reborn, whether it's water, dirt, or fire, which of course Malachi's is fire, earth, whatever. I said dirt.
Avatars. They're airbenders, firebenders.
Fucking love Avatar. And Julia Hart, just her aesthetic alone, it very much is Coven, and that's my favorite season of American Horror Story. So like, I fucks with it. I'm very excited, and they I don't know when necessarily they'll like come back, but if we get like a few more weeks of like these very well shot, very well produced vignettes of them, I'm okay with it. Like, give it time to marinate. Don't just bring them back and then not fucking do anything with them. Like, when they come back, I want them shown in a good light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I am, again, reserving my swallows until I see how they are presented. My last swallow, which should be no surprise to anyone, is Stacks defeating that piece of shit wannabe security guard who isn't doing his job and letting scripts run wild all over fucking NXT. Fucking Hank. My boy Stacks got the win, took down Hank. Fuck Hank.
Stick to selling propane and propane accessories, Hank.
Right. Because you're a terrible security guard and an even worse wrestler.
Damn.
You do not like Hank.
Fuck Hank.
I don't know where that energy came from for Hank, but I'm not hating. I'm just here for it.
Listen, the NXT parking lot, fucking menace. Security should be handling that. They're not. Fucking vandalism running wild in NXT. People spray painting shit, breaking into shit, doing shit. Security should be handling it. They're fucking not. What's Hank doing? Hank's like, I want to be a wrestler. Well, be a fucking security guard first, and then we can talk about you being a fucking wrestler.
I want to be a wrestler.
What's your last spitter swallow, Katie?
It's just a quick swallow to Orange Cassidy trying to take Mark Henry's job every time he's in the main event of Rampage. He always wants to say, that's enough talk, it's time for the main event. This time he pulled out his own mic from his jean jacket. It's just the little shit with him with that has been funny. The progression over the past few weeks. Big shout out. I think it's funny every time. Because Mark Henry's like, dude, stop, please. Just let me say. I have one thing I get to say. Don't take it from me. You know, Orange Cassidy trying to fuck it up. But it's funny, so.
Fair enough. Vince, favorite show this week?
SmackDown.
Katie?
NXT.
No. Dynamite.
I'm going to go with Vince and say SmackDown on this one. Shot's got the win. Bray, muffled LA Knight. It was a good night.
Jesus.
Good night.
Night.
So, as per the Smackin' Raw podcast, SmackDown was the best show of the week. Vince, please plug yourself.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SESVince. The link tree in my bio will take you to everything Straight Talk. We're about to do an episode with Young Kings Wrestling tomorrow. So by the time this goes up, the episode should be up as well. We're going to talk about LA Lakers. So if you like the Lakers, if you like basketball, or you just want to hear TC rants and be in his woes about his basketball team, tune in. It'll be a fun time. Also, check me out on the latest Young Kings Wrestling. I was on there. We talked about Crown Jewel. I did not watch, but I reviewed. And I was also on Get Your Podcast. We talked about Crown Jewel. I did not watch, but we reviewed. And then we did a sway session that may or may not question how I have a significant other at this point in time, if you ask Matt Ritter. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. But if that's all too complicated for you, go ahead and check out floorslappersports.com. You can find Straight Talk right there. It'll take you directly to your preferred audio podcast realm.
I don't know how you or Vince or you or Justin landed fucking women with the pickup lines you guys were throwing out related to snacks. You're gonna have to hear it for yourself. It's a thing.
Well, to be fair, this is not those were not things I would ever say to Melissa, but You know,
Just
You need to come with your A game for those sweaty sessions. You need to.
oh, that
You're like,
I have popped off on sweaty sessions, man.
all I'm saying is, if you wouldn't say it to Melissa, you shouldn't say it on the show. That's all I'm saying.
no.
That's the energy you need
I
to bring.
think sweaty sessions is a safe space where there's no wrong answer.
Katie, and all that shoulder that she decided to show again, so our views on Pornhub go up.
Yeah,
Please
all
promote
that
yourself.
shoulders popping off.
Leave me the fuck alone. I know what I want. You can follow me on Twitter at KittyRason13, link I'm about to take out. Things She Lead Showcase, twitch.tv/She Lead Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, unless something happens or Savannah's late. YouTube.com/She Lead Showcase. I say watch videos because they're way more entertaining. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, if you'd like to listen. She Leads the Brands, the weekly show we do, Inside the Mind of, a new episode with Dylan from Royally Pod will be out on Monday. And then I have RNs coming out in 2 weeks after that.
Oh.
I know, I'm so proud of myself. I'm really ahead of the game right now. In the Crowd will be making a return. I know. With Just and Daryl from Get Yo. I got two of them. So we're filming that next week.
You got
So,
Daryl and Just.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be fun.
Those are the Godfathers. Those are the Godfathers.
Let her finish plugging her stuff so I can plug my stuff when we get on the show. We can talk about that after show.
Thank you. Like Matt said, story time with Katie Kinsey Bebe just released, YouTube exclusive. I thought it was a good time. It's 16 minutes. It's very short. Savannah has 2 shows, one of which she has to figure out. And I'm always here. And I was on BotchBot's 100th episode. I yelled at Bobby. It was really fun. Getting off, which Matt will talk about. I'm everywhere.
And you can follow me at Matt at MTTRIDDER on Twitter only, also at Getting Off. There will be an episode dropping tomorrow night where we talk the Slasher verse, so come check us out. If Smacking at Raw didn't finish you, then Getting Off will definitely get you off for your weekend. You guys can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Smackin' at Raw. My link trees are in my bio at Matt Ritter, which will get you all things audio, video, and everything for both of those podcasts, whichever one you want to follow and check out. For my friend Vince, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado.
Did you say
Sultan of Spitter Swallow? Listen,
Swaddle.
I
said swaddle.
I'm not feeling well today, all right? My words are not coming out. Just accept it and move on. And Miss Katie Kinsey
Are your
Bebe.
voice muffled?
I am the
So
patron saint of
muffle
podcast
you.
and the Warden Matt Ritter. And this has been the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Daddy